Hi everyone, I want to talk to you today about using a long arm stapler. This is what you see right here. It's basically a stapler just like you would see on a desktop stapler in the front half, and the difference is that you have an extension here on the back of it so that you can staple much longer lengths of paper. So just like a regular desktop stapler, you would open up the top half, and this is where the staples go. You close it up. It looks like I'm going to need to add a few more soon. And the nice thing about a long arm stapler is it has a measuring tool along here. These are measured in inches, and there's this paper guide where if you pinch the edges, you can slide it back and forth. If you let go, it holds in place. It basically has like these little pinching clasps that holds it in place on the bottom here. But again, if you squeeze the top and the bottom, it releases that clasp, and then you can slide it forward and back. And as soon as you let go, it holds it in place and it can't be moved. The reason that this is a handy guide is that it helps you set the exact spot where you want the staples to go, which makes it really handy for stapling small booklets and pamphlets like this one. Now this is cut in half. It's a half of a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, basically cut in half. So that's the measurement of this small mini comic that I'm going to staple. And what I want to do is find the center point of where I want it stapled. And in this case, because this is 8.5 inches in width, I'm going to staple it at 4 1/4, which puts it right in the center of that pamphlet. And for that reason, I'm going to move this guide over to where it is set at the measurement 4 1/4 inch. And what's going to happen is when I insert the pages, it's going to hit this bar. You see how it hits that bar, and it can't go any further, so I know it's going to staple right at that spot each time. So I like to insert my pamphlets in with a face up, because when I staple it from above, you'll see that the smooth part of the staple is on the outside, and the two pieces that bend together on the inside, these tend to kind of catch, and sometimes they can scratch. So I try to keep these smooth parts on the outside so that when I fold it over, it's nice and smooth along that spine. So I'm going to put one staple at the top and one near the bottom. And when I fold it in half, it should be right along that center fold. If it's not falling right along that center fold, you can slide this guide back or forth until you get it just right. It might be just a tiny little bit of a movement because they're not locking in place along these lines that you see marked here. You can really slide this guide along this bar at any point that you want it to stop. And in this way, you can really decide exactly where you want the staples to fall. Now, one last note about folding your pamphlet bindings, your stapled comics or zines. I do like to use something like a bone folder to give it a good crease after I staple. So I crease it down on one side, I flip over, and I crease it down on another. And this just helps the booklet sit nice and flat. Now, if you don't have a tool like a bone folder, something like a wooden spoon can do the same thing, or even like the back of a butter knife. Just some sort of a tool that gives you that extra pressure to kind of increase that nice tight fold right there along the edge.